All right, now what I want to do is I want to do a multicolor transition, and we're going to do that here on one of our main landing gear doors. Multicolor transition is exactly that. We're going to use about 3 or 4 different colors to move from a dark color down to more of our base color. And so on this landing gear door, we have the top side of it. That's where our dark color is going to be, and then we'll fade it down into kind of a brighter color here in the middle. And we're going to be using our neutral gray, cream brown as our second color, the faded white color, and then we'll get a little bit of a bleaching effect with our snow white. So let's make sure we get our applicator brush here, our liner nice and clean. And we're going to come in here with our dark color. And we are going to get this, say, a dot application really on our perimeter here. And I'm not going to apply too much of it. We just definitely want to keep it very sparing. So we'll go ahead and start to feather that in with our shader brush here. You can tell, let's get you on this camera, you can kind of tell what we're doing here. We don't need to go super heavy with these oil paints. I mean, a little bit goes a long way with being able to change the tone of your base color. I actually think maybe what we could do on this particular one is we could even come in with, you know, even a very darker, you know, let's take this shadow, what color is it? Shadow brown here. Let's just kind of put this maybe up here in the corners. Something like so. So I guess maybe what we could do is kind of use that as like a kind of sort of a fifth color, so to speak. Just kind of in those corners. Fade that like such. Okay, so we've got a nice little blending there of our dark color to our neutral gray. All right, once again, clean brush. Clean your brushes every now and then with your thinners. And let's come in a little bit lighter here with our cream brown. And that we're not going to get so close to the perimeter. Going to kind of keep that out here. Hopefully you kind of see where I put those dots. Now we're working with a little bit of a finer area, not as big of an area, so I'm just going to switch over to our smaller dry shader brush here and just kind of work these from the outside to the inside, just kind of fading it. Let me get you in the center of the camera here and see if I can hold this. I think a little bit too much of paint there, so I'm just going to kind of do a nice wipe and wipe some off. All right, so you can see how I'm kind of blending that into the middle. Still trying to keep the integrity of our darker colors on the outside. I think I can wipe a bit more off in this middle here. And again, you know, you have your brush that is dedicated to just thinners, right? So if you really needed to take a lot off, you know, get in with your thinner brush and just kind of go ahead and wipe it. And then leave that brush alone and come back in with your dry brush. And you can do a little bit more blending with less paint. All right, there we go. Just kind of wiping some excess paint off on this other portion of the door. All right, now what we want to do is we want to get some lighter colors there directly in the middle. So again, a clean brush. Wipe it on our paper towel. Here we go with our faded white. Again, just sticking to a dot application here more towards the middle. And of course, if you have less surface area, then you don't need as much paint. And again, I think what I did here is I think I did just a little, maybe a little bit too much, but that's okay. We can always kind of wipe some off on our other panel here. And just really with our dry shader brush here, blend it in. God, I'm losing focus on this camera here. It's because of what's in the background. Use our dry shader brush to kind of blend that in. All right, there we go. Again, we can come from the outside in. And now a little bit of a bleaching effect with our Snow White color. Again, clean brush. I'm just going to move my paper towel over here closer to the thinner. Clean brush. Nice and dry. Let's go ahead and probably just need one dot of our white here. Maybe a few small dots. And again, let's get a little bit of a brushing effect here. I think that gives us a nice little bit of a bleach color there. All right, so when we kind of take this door and bring it over to our aircraft right here, you can kind of see, you know, that color variation, that weathering, that browning effect that we're getting, a multicolored transition effect, and how that really kind of changes our color on the underside of the aircraft as compared to the non-weathered side, non-weathered shading on the underside here. So, you know, a bit of a contrast there, which is exactly kind of what I want to achieve. Now, what you can also do is, you know, after you let this sit, you know, 15, 30 minutes or something, you can actually come in with a really large shader brush and you can actually just kind of whisk and fade it a little bit more to kind of make it a little bit more transparent. You know, a clean brush like this is going to take a little bit of that paint away. So you'll get not so much of a stark transition or a stark change between your underside color and what you have your door. So feel free to do that, but I really kind of like how that shading variation happens between the underside of the aircraft and this door. So I'm just going to kind of leave this as is, and we'll move on to the next application method.